Welcome to episode 10 of Gaston Digital Great Ideas. I'm your host, Chris Goodson. We took an extended hiatus after winter break, but now we're back. This week, we talked to Patrice Miller and Crystal Hall of Robinson Elementary. They'll talk about the value of working with a team and of relentlessly reflecting and revising to get the best results for your students. This episode was recorded right before Christmas, so please forgive our festive outfits. All right, welcome. We have with us today Crystal Hall and Patrice Miller. If you two would introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about where you teach.
Hi, I'm Patrice Miller. I teach at Robinson, fourth grade, first year in fourth grade. The last few years I've been in pre-K. I really enjoy my teammate, my new students.
Yep, and I'm Crystal Hall, also a fourth grade teacher. I've been teaching fourth grade for a few years, and also at Robinson Elementary, and enjoy my teammate as well.
Great. Well, one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you two today is together is because I hear you've done a lot of work together to sort of make your experience good for your students this year. We are in the AB cohort thing, and this is really new. I know fourth grade's sort of a big transitional year sometimes. So how has that worked, and what are some of the things y'all have done together to kind of make both having the students in class less and online more? What have you done to make that work better? How have you planned that together?
Well, I would say we play to our strengths. I feel like, and I think Ms. Hall would probably agree that Ms. Hall's strength is math.
Yep.
And mine is science. And then we do have a third teammate that is teaching virtually. So we all still work together and we kind of play to each other's strengths. We try to incorporate what we know as far as technology is concerned, what we can do there in all of those courses. And we try to not just stick to that, but use each other to make sure that our students are getting the best out of the team.
And then even if the students are at home or if they're virtual, trying to still keep them as a class. I know both of us use our morning meeting time to meet with both groups at the same time. So that way they get that connection that they wouldn't normally get now that, there's a cohort A and a cohort B. That's together.
Yeah, that's huge. That's one of the things that I think a lot of people we didn't talk about or think about as much at the beginning because we were just in such a rush to how can we make this work. But that you really, especially in elementary, those kids form a bond with each other. I mean, they're a team in their class, especially if you're rocking it out right in the classroom. And that's hard to do when they're not all there at the same time. So I think that's neat that you've worked in a way to sort of keep them together at least in time, so that they the A kids know who the B kids are at the very least and get a chance to interact with them some, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, they've been going to school together, some of them for years and years. And this is the first time that they're not physically in class together. So for them to still be able to, see each other and interact with each other it's nice for them.
It's great. It's great. Well, I know one of the things that's relatively new, even though a lot of us were using Google Classroom before, and we had some classroom presence online. This year, moving to Schoology for elementary and Canvas for the middle and high, that bringing an LMS in has been a big learning curve for everybody, students and teachers. So talk to me a little bit about what y'all have learned about the LMS to make Schoology work for your kids.
I would say we started off with big dreams.
Yeah.
with really big dreams, especially when it came to collaboration. We had all of these ideas. I think it really helps that both of us are kind of techie minded. If there's not a better term for that, I'm sure there is. But
I like it.
Yeah, techie minded. So we really did start off with big dreams. I mean, and as we started building our landing pages and building our courses in Schoology, we bounced ideas off of one another to say, okay, how is this working in your class? And is it real? Are kids really getting the most out of using this tool inside of the LMS? So we really did talk to each other a lot about that, and we brought some things up and we brought some things back down.
Exactly.
So I think a lot of it has to do with just being flexible enough to say, even though I spent 10 hours working on this and putting it on my Schoology page and getting that working, the kids aren't having it right now. So we just need to bring that back.
Exactly.
And then learning where we needed to build them up as well. So where they needed some challenges.
That's so important. I think I've ended up talking to a lot of teachers, both doing the show and just working as an ITF. And I've talked with people who have had success and who've had challenges with their LMS, and that's one thing that keeps coming up is that ability to get some feedback from the kids and to look at it and say, I may have put 12 hours into making this, but it's not working. I got to try something different because it is so new. The idea of putting the whole class, everything about it in one online space, it's very new to everybody. And our first, and it's not bad to say, hey, the first thing I tried didn't work. Let's tweak that. Let's change it. So that and I like that you guys have the ability to talk to each other about it and say, hey, what's working for you? What's working for me? Back and forth. That seems like that's probably working out really well.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, and so go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's nice to be able to say, look, I have this idea. This is what I want to do, and be able to bounce it off of each other and say, well, why don't you try this? Because it's hard when you don't have someone that
tech-minded. That's it. We're gonna trademark that.
Yeah.
So it's hard to have those conversations. So it's nice to be able to say, well, we got to figure out how to work this in and be able to bounce it off of each other and make it work. And then when it all comes together, it's amazing.
It is, for sure.
Well, speaking of that, one of the things that a lot of teachers talk to me that they've had challenges with is organization, not from our standpoint, because as teachers we're organized. We put things in units and we put but the kids don't always think that way. No. And the kids don't look at a website and process it the same way we do. So I know a lot of people have told me they're learning different ways to organize their home pages. So what are some of the cool things you've come up with? What's something you've come up with that helps the kids organize it a little better? And I know you've got your Schoology pulled up, but so if you want to pull something up to illustrate it, go right ahead. Okay. But just something that sticks out at you that's worked really well.
You want to start while I pull it up?
Yeah, definitely the landing page, like she was talking about, starting in homeroom and being able to have that option or have those buttons to click on any course and it take you to that course. So, if you're in homeroom and you're ready to go to science, and so you click on your science button and it takes you to science, but also having those same buttons on every course page. So if you're in science, okay, we're switching over to ELA, just click on your ELA button and having that sitting there right at the top, first thing they see when they come in, so they know exactly, what to press to go to each course. And then I know we have it separated days of the week. That was a big thing we wanted to have, just so they know, on this day, you go to this folder. You got to know your days of the week, but as long as you know that, you're good to go.
Right. So,
and I'm hearing that echoed from all levels, all the way up to high school, is that having a weekly calendar or something, to go day by day is important.
Yes. And so as Ms. Hall was talking about, we did, and not all of these things came at once. We made sure to have some consistency. I think over the summer, I was the first to kind of start working in it.
Oh, yeah.
And it really was before GCS had the platform. I was like, look, you can go get a personal page. And so I was like, I just need to know what this looks like and how to process it before. And then as I started working in it, I would bounce things off Ms. Hall, and Ms. Hall would be working on something. I was like, oh, well, let me try that. And so it became kind of just our routine to say, hey, have you tried anything new? Have you done this? Or look at what I'm doing in Schoology. Exactly. I'm doing this. And trying to put that together so that we all had consistent looking courses and load screens and all of that. So this is math, and as Ms. Hall was speaking about, at the top of our load page, we have on all of our courses, well, all of mine except for social studies.
I was going to say, you probably start with homeroom and show them that big homeroom page.
Let's start there.
Yeah.
Another thing that became something that we decided to keep consistent is having these banners that are very easy to spot. And so Ms. Hall started that with her courses, and I saw it on her Schoology. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna steal that one because I feel like it's really hard for the students to see. I just had pictures, to see what the pictures are. So we put the banners in.
And I actually got that from my daughter's teacher. So as a parent, I was looking at her Schoology and I was like, oh, this might work for second grade, but I'm definitely doing this in fourth grade too. They need this.
Right.
Well, and I love how you've got those buttons on every page they go to seems to have the buttons where they can jump to something else, and it's all consistent. So like ELA is always the blue button, social studies is always the orange. So I love that's not only consistency across pages, but you've got the visual cue in there too, so they know when they see blue, it's ELA. That's great.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've even color coded that with the folders for the week. So all of the ELA folders are blue. All of the social study ones are that orangish yellow. All of math are red. All of science are green. So it kind of keeps them thinking, okay,
even if they're in the favorite colors.
True, it is our favorite colors as well. Favorite colors with our favorite subjects. So we coordinated that way. And so when you come to the load screen in homeroom, all the buttons are there. So you don't have to go back up to courses. And then, you just have your little Bitmoji classroom in there just to make it unique to your class. And then as you scroll down, this is our morning meeting section. And so they can click on the Google Meet sign to get in there. And then it's got the meeting name so that they could type that in and get into the meeting. And then these are linked to all of our pieces of our morning meeting. So when we click on greeting there, if a student is at home or if they're in class with us, it'll pull up the greeting for the day.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And so we've linked all the buttons to it. I mean, and they could go back and click the buttons to go to it, but you can also just go through that Google slide and get, this was our Friday morning message. And it looks consistent every day. So we try not to change things.
We use that same template every day.
That consistency is huge. And I love how you're using the tools that we have on hand. I mean, that's just an embedded Google Slides presentation. So that makes it easy to go in and change the content without changing, like you said, without changing the look of it and the way it's built. That's great.
Right. And then on the homeroom screen, this is just an embedded Google Drawing. And that's any homework. Normally we try not to assign anything for homework if we can help it, but just to remember the reading log and to do that throughout the week, we just link that reading log from the week to the homework assignment. And they can just click there and it'll take them straight to ELA to do that assignment in there.
One thing I really like about this is it looks really transparent for parents as well. I mean, I know some poor worried parents trying to figure out what is going on. Yeah. They can come to this page and like, okay, there it is. I know what's up. That's great.
Yeah, we also made a page for our parents, like just for the stuff that we needed to share with parents. Like, so they didn't have to look at their kids' Schoology for those important announcements. They could just go to their own course.
We just keep that up in groups, and it looks very similar to the kids. They
thematic and consistent. That is great. Well, listen, I know we're almost out of time. I'm going to ask you guys something that I've asked most people so far. What is one piece of advice you would give to other teachers of something you have learned during all this? It's a tough one.
Well, mine, I think, would be don't get overwhelmed with it because it's very easy. Even as a techie, it's very easy to get overwhelmed in this Schoology world. So start out small and just, little by little, just don't overwhelm yourself trying to do everything at one time. Because that was a lot of pieces of stuff. And like you said, we did it piece by piece, little by little.
Gradually.
So like you have to set up a whole thing in 2 days, though it probably felt that way. But don't set it all up in 2 days. Do it piece by piece, add it in gradually for you and the student. So don't get overwhelmed, a little bit at a time.
Yes.
It's good advice.
I would have two things really to say to them. One, the same grace that we're showing kids and parents, give yourself that same grace.
Yes.
It's okay. And I think that's one of the things that I have appreciated that parents have said throughout this whole time period is that I like that you just tell me when you don't know. Because I do. I mean, if I don't know, I can't give you an answer. I'm sorry. I'll look for it. But some parents have given me that encouragement and that support, and I'm appreciative of that. Give yourself some grace and take your time. And also steal. We know this as teachers, steal from other teachers all the time. Steal. You like it? Use it. You know, we're not
Don't
counting
reinvent the
points
wheel.
as
Exactly.
teachers. If you see something that someone else is doing, take it, and just take those resources one at a time and use it.
And I always love that as a teacher when another teacher took something that I used, I was like, yes, because that means you're doing it right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, listen, this has been wonderful talking with you two. I love what you're doing. Keep it up. And we're halfway through the year. So here we go.
Yes.
And thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you want to find out more about the topics we discussed, head over to our website at bit.ly/great ideas. And don't forget to check out bit.ly/Gaston Digital for the latest resources and professional development opportunities from your tech facilitators. If you have ideas for the show, please message me on Twitter. You can find me at @Goodson. Thanks and have a great week.